Welcome everybody to my talk on online networking, which I believe is Game Audio's latest secret weapon. I'm going to spend 30 minutes telling you why. So I was told to keep my introduction kind of brief because I don't have much time, so this is a picture of me. Who am I? So my name is Lewis. Okay, moving on. So social media, you probably all hate it. It sucks. I hate it too. It is terrible. I'm assuming everybody here hates using social media and can, I'm assuming everyone wants to use it more and kind of is a bit aware that they're not using it as much as they should do. I'm going to go with that. I used to hate using it too, but I use it literally all the time now, like so often. I'm chronically online. It's a big flaw of mine. Socials have made me a much better sound designer, and I think it can make everybody a much better sound designer. And I've gotten some very cool career opportunities through it as well, just by being active and having my name out there a lot. It's literally why I'm here right now. I'm obviously from England. I got flown all the way out here to talk about this, which was a very cool thing for me to do. Here's a short story for you. This is my very first year of using social media for audio. So in January 2015, I made an account and I said, hey, I made an account on Twitter. I'm going to try and be active here, and I'm looking forward to connecting with all of my fellow Game Audio folks. And then the next month, I posted tumbleweed, nothing. The next month, I posted nothing, nothing again, nothing. Nothing. Does that seem familiar to you? Because it was totally dead on arrival. I did not know what to post. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt very out of my comfort zone, and I just gave up straight away. But after a few years, of kind of like the last kind of 3 years, I was forcing myself to use it more and get better at it. And now it looks a bit more like this. So I'm kind of posting about having a good time at an event I went to, or about some videos I'm making, or just about working on projects, or answering questions, and just all this other stuff all the time, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. I use it all the time. I post about anything all the time, just to try and keep it busy. Moral of the story is, using social media does feel very awkward, especially at the start of using it. Like, I'm not a cool person. I'm not a cool, trendy person that uses socials, but it's a skill you can develop and get better at. It's a lot easier than you think. Like, I was definitely overthinking how hard it was. And it can also be a lot less time-consuming than you will think as well. Like anything, it's a skill you can develop, which is what I was doing for many years. Some frequently heard objections. So I'm sure loads of you here are thinking, yeah, all right, Lewis, I don't really want to do any of this. So I'm going to, in your head, think of why what I'm about to say isn't correct and why it doesn't apply to you. And I'm going to tell you objectively why you're all wrong. So if you've got nothing to post, which I'm assuming most of you think you don't have anything to post, yes, you do have loads of stuff to post. Your standards are just way too high. We're all like audio designers. We love creating things, creating experiences and amazing music compositions and stuff. And so when you think, I've got to create social media posts, you're probably thinking, oh, it needs to be really good and insightful and thought-provoking. But you can post like anything you want. It doesn't have to be good at all. In fact, I recommend to post just random thoughts you have throughout the day. Like, it doesn't need to be good at all. So lower your standards of what you're actually posting. There's too many social media platforms to keep track of. Yeah, there are quite a lot, but you don't need them all. And I'll tell you more about which ones are good in 9 slides' time. Feel free to start counting. I did check myself. You don't have time. This is the biggest one. You do have time. You can have a very effective online presence by spending literally a couple minutes per day. You don't have to be spending hours and hours scrolling through everything. Like, you can really be efficient with it, and I'm going to tell you how later. You hate the algorithm, you hate Elon Musk, he's a twat, you hate all the spam, all the bots. You've probably seen this a lot on social media. But not all platforms have these issues. I'm not saying social media is like good, but like you can kind of avoid some of these things. Isn't networking in person better, like we're all doing today, except those of you online? It probably is better, but like everything I'm about to go through is stuff you should be doing as well as networking in person. It's not a replacement, but it's not something you should not do. Like, definitely network online as well. They pair together really nicely. And if you just hate everything about social media anyway, and I can't convince you to use it, then I don't know why you're here, to be honest, but fair enough. I'm not saying it's like absolutely essential, but I think it's very, very useful and underrated. I just say avoid using it at your own risk, because I think it might bite you. So what's the point of using social media for networking anyway? Sorry. So being consistently active on social media, that's the keyword, consistently, rewards you in these ways. So first off, you no longer miss any events that's happening, or industry updates, or limited time sales. I can't tell you how many times I found out about this in-person networking event the day after it happened because I wasn't following some random account on Twitter and I just didn't know it had happened because I didn't check it enough. I really find that annoying when it happens. And so if you're online, just checking it once a day, you won't miss this stuff because it will appear on your feeds. You learn new things. Obviously, actively, you can just search on YouTube, like, oh, sound design tips and tricks, great. But you can also learn so much passively, and that's why I was saying I'm a better sound designer. I've learned so many tricks from things that, like, I didn't know to search for. I just see them appear on my timeline. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. If you don't know, like, the audio community is, like, super lovely and very open to share stuff, especially in game audio. And so you see so many great tips and tricks and videos and all this stuff, which is just, you just learn and get better at just passively scrolling social media, like, once a day. Finding work, including if you're not looking for it. You can make some amazing friends as well, apparently. Also, people are more likely to offer you these kind of opportunities. And so everything I'm about to list on the right side of the screen now has been offered to me, like, in some form over the last, like, 3 years of being very, very, very active on social media. So job offers and side hustles, ways to make money. You know, I'm all about the Benjamins, if you know me. This is what networking is really all about, is getting job opportunities and finding work to support yourself. I've not really taken any of these up, apart from a couple side hustles, but, like, if you're looking for more ways to make money or you're looking for jobs, sometimes just by having an online presence, you can be offered stuff. Mentorships, both as a mentee or as a mentor, people have approached me. I really like this stuff, so it's great. I like speaking to people about audio. I can do it for hours, and so this is great for me. I like meeting new people. Guest writing articles. I wrote articles for a sound effect and Audio Kinetic, 2 things I would never thought I would ever do, because I'm not really a writer. And it all literally came from just people seeing, I don't know, a Twitter thread I wrote, or just random stuff on social media. Speaking opportunities, podcast appearances. I've been asked to appear on 3 podcasts, which I really like doing. I've never met any of the people in person. They just found me online. And so again, this is also for I quite like. Obviously, if you don't like this stuff, you don't have to worry about it. But lecturing work as well. I've been offered, like, long-term, short-term, paid, unpaid, guest lecturing. I've not really done much of it, but it's fun. And again, I'm sometimes a bit tight on money. It's nice to have a little bit of extra work on the side. And award nominations as well. Back in the UK, I was amazed to be nominated for a couple of awards in sound. Like, it wouldn't have happened if people didn't know who I was, and they only do because of Airwiggles. So why is online networking important right now as opposed to, like, 5-10 years ago? Because there's always been the game audio scene online, on Twitter, on Instagram, etc. So I don't know if you've heard, but about 5 years ago there was this big pandemic thing that kind of changed a lot about the world. Since then, there's a lot more jobs are remote as opposed to in-person, or at least hybrid. They didn't really exist fully remote jobs before. There was a few, but they weren't very common. But typically, when you think of networking in person, you're kind of meeting people in your city, in your area, to make good connections. And so when there's positions in your area, you can apply for jobs and you know the people. Great. But when you're applying for jobs across your entire country or even the world, like, you can't really network with them in person. So there's no point, like, narrowing your search of, like, people to network with to just your city, especially if you live in not a hub, which a lot of people do. Maybe not in LA, but if you live somewhere else, for instance. So yeah, cast a wider net, network with people worldwide. You don't need to narrow it down as much anymore. There's less in-person events. Obviously, this is a great one. They're coming back. Obviously, loads of them cancelled over COVID, but some of them still haven't quite healed yet. Like, in the UK, there was lots of game jams each year, and now there's maybe like 1 a year as opposed to 5. So instead of just not doing them, just make it up with online events instead. And layoffs as well. So again, it's been a very turbulent time for the industry. Luckily, it's not affected me, but, like, it's a really shit industry for layoffs right now. There's not much good job security. Instead of, like, I'm not saying that being active on social media will make you not get laid off, but, like, when, like, job security is so bad, it's good to have a good network of people to fall back on if something does, touch wood, go wrong and you lose your job or something. I've seen a few people who have been laid off, posted about it on social media, and then people they've met online, who they've not met in real life, says, oh, that's so sorry to hear, we might have a chance at this thing or that thing. And they've managed to find work that way. I'm not saying it's going to save you, like, it's still going to suck, but, like, it might give you a little bit of a softer landing. Okay, so know your battleground. Let's go through the actual social media platforms that are on the market right now. This is nice last time, by the way. So I've broken down this into a graph of just, like, different platforms. So the first ones are unlikely to be worthwhile. So Facebook is shit. Like, just ignore it. You don't need it. I'm not even going to go through it anymore. Like, just avoid it at all costs. And also alternative socials such as Threads and Mastodon. To clarify, this is all, like, for networking, in-game audio specifically. So these 2 platforms, they're cool. You might like them. Some people really like Mastodon, but really they're just, like, not enough people use them, and if you're, like, not have that much time to kind of dedicate to using social media, I wouldn't really bother setting accounts up. Like, if you like using them, then great, do it, but, like, who knows what they'll be like in a year's time. They probably won't exist. They might blow up and be amazing. But as of right now, I wouldn't put any money in it. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. The next category is they're all right if you enjoy using them. Instagram's one of them. It has a decent game audio scene. Like, it's probably better for making, like, staying in touch with your connections as opposed to making new ones. If you like it, then great. But again, it's not the best one out there. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just if you like it, then use it. But if you don't, then don't. And then this might be controversial, but Slack and Discord, I think if you like using those kind of platforms, then there's some great standard design Discords out there, and the field recording Slack are really good. But ultimately, there's not that many active users on them, and they're just a bit chaotic. Like, they're not very personal. In Discord, you don't really have real names, really. You don't see people's faces very often. It's just a bit kind of, I don't know, it's not very good for making actual connections, like long-term connections. So if you like them, then use them and learn from them, but otherwise I wouldn't really bother too much about it. The next three are Reddit, YouTube, and TikTok. So I say these are useful social media platforms for audio people because there's lots of great resources on there. You know, Reddit's got some jobs, and then YouTube and TikTok is great for content and learning stuff. But again, if you're looking to make connections, like, you don't really do it through any of these things. Reddit's basically anonymous, and YouTube and TikTok just aren't really built for that. And then the ones which are probably worth investing your time, which I would say are the ones that you should care about. Okay, controversially, Twitter is still probably quite popular. I'm trying very hard not to be reactionary because, again, I hate Twitter and what Elon Musk is doing to it, and I hate Elon Musk. But it's still very popular, and there's lots of people on it. However, it is definitely going downhill, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like, in a year, 2 years' time, like, this belongs in the far left category. And I say it's being replaced by Blue Sky right now. I'll be upfront with you. Like 2 weeks ago, I had Blue Sky in the unlikely to be worthwhile column. Like, I thought it was going nowhere. And then suddenly, I think it was, again, Elon's doing bullshit again. Blue Sky's become a bit more popular, but I'm not going to lie to you. I have no idea if it's going to remain popular. Like, it might just be a little peak and it will die out again. These two platforms are very similar in terms of how they're laid out. And they're both kind of like for everybody, which is quite nice. I just say monitor them both. Pick one if you like one more than the other, but like, I'm not entirely sure which one's going to be the most popular long term. What is actually probably quite safe though is LinkedIn, which I didn't really use until recently, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's got a lot of people on it, a lot of game audio people on it, and there's not too much in terms of like spam, I mean, apart from people messaging you over and over and over again, but it's pretty good. You get quite good engagement as well, which I've noticed. I think it's worth having one, regardless if you use it much at all, just because so many people are on it, and there's lots of jobs on it as well. And obviously, the best one is Airwiggles. If you don't know what that is, it's the best website on the planet. I did make it though, so I'm a little bit biased. Just as a really quick one, I won't talk about it too much. I don't want this to be like an ad for Airwiggles, but it's like an online platform we made just for people in audio for media. So it's all free, there's no ads or anything. I genuinely think it is quite useful, but yeah, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I feel bad doing it. Okay, let's actually set up your social media accounts then and take the plunge. So this is a social media profile done incorrectly. So we have a little profile here. So first off, the profile picture. This one, obviously it's just like an illustration, but you can imagine it's an actual picture. It's grey, it's colourless, it's busy. You can't really recognise the person in it because they're really small in the corner, and especially on like a small phone screen, you won't be able to recognise it at all. If you saw this picture among 20 other profile pictures, you would glaze right over it because it doesn't grab your eye at all. It's completely unrecognisable. It might as well not be there. The username, SexyLewis1234. Yes, it's true. But it's a bit inappropriate, it's anonymous, it's impersonal, like, it doesn't tell you who I am, it just tells you what I look like. And there's like, again, there's loads of Lewises out there, and there's loads of Lewises in audio, and they're all sexy, so it's not very appropriate at all. The handle, @avocado toast fan, again, it's really good, but like, it's not really personal, it's kind of totally unrelated as well. Ideally for the handles, you should make it your name, or at least it starts with your name. So when people try to @you, they'll type @Lewis, and it will show up in the list. The bio, people have touched on this at GameSoundCon, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but just bluntly asking for work in general just implies you treat all interactions as transactions, which isn't a nice thing. The website is just a random jumble of letters and numbers. It's not very memorable. It's hard for people to share it around, especially by mouth. And the grammar is bad as well. So let's have a good one. So this is more like it, now we're talking. So the profile picture, now instead of being grey, it's now bright yellow. I'm smiling, it's up front, you can recognise it's me, you can see my locks. It's very clearly recognisably me, and I appear friendly. If you see that picture, and imagine it's an actual human, you think, oh, that's a nice guy. The username, again, just Lewis Thompson, just my name. It doesn't need to be anything else. To clarify, yours should be your names, not Lewis Thompson, but mine should be Lewis Thompson. Unless your name is Lewis Thompson, but probably unlikely. For handle, again, same thing, Lewis Tom Sound. It's a little pun, but it's mostly my name, so it's easy to find me. The bio includes my location, which is useful, because if someone does want to meet me in person, they'll know I'm in the same town as them. I just include something audio relevant, so people recognize me from Air Biggles, which is what most people know me from. I'll get to the ducks later. And then the website, again, just lewisthompsonsound.com. Super simple, super recognizable. Doesn't need to be clever or flashy, just like it needs to be memorable. Grammar is good too. And then ducks, what's this about? I've got a duck in the profile picture, and I've got ducks in the bio. My thinking here is I think it's good to embrace any kind of like fun, weird, quirky trait that just makes you seem less robotic. That's a good sign, isn't it? And so when you see, let's say you see this a few times online and you think, oh, this guy loves ducks, that's funny. And then you see me in person and I'm wearing a shirt with a duck on it, you'd be like, oh, it's the duck guy, Lewis, I've met you before, you like ducks. It's just a nice random icebreaker, it's kind of funny, it's kind of quirky. To clarify again, it doesn't have to be ducks. Like, it can be anything. It can be a wacky hairstyle. It can be a fashion sense you have. It can be pets you have. Anything at all. If there's anything fun or quirky about yourself, embrace it if you want, because it's just a nice way to make it less robotic. Some further advice for setting up social media accounts. Use the same profile picture, username, all that stuff across every platform, because if someone follows you on one, they'll see you on the other one and immediately follow you again. Keep it mostly business. You can post a few little diversions from business stuff, but if you post too much just personal stuff, people will probably unfollow you or mute you. Rarely change your profile picture, but at the same time, make sure it is what you look like, just to make it recognizable. You want people to recognize it straight away, and then to recognize you when they remember it. And as a quick tip, which is what I do and a few people do, you'll see it everywhere now, but just replace the background of your profile picture with a solid color, like these little examples here. It just makes it pop, it makes it a bit more colourful, makes it stand out just a tiny bit. It's a really easy way to do, and there's graphic design software that can do it for free. Basically, it's all about being recognisable. Some water, sorry, 1 second. You want to develop a reputation online of being just a friendly, normal person. You don't want to be like that amazing, just someone that's normal and nice to talk to. And so when you apply for a job or something and your name pops up on the application and the hiring manager sees it and they recognize you from the internet, they'll be like, oh, this person, they're not a total maniac, cool. And that's already just a little edge up on most other people who don't have a presence. It's just a little tiny thing that might help in applying for jobs. At the same time, when you come to an in-person event, if you're active online, people will seek you out. I've had this so many times today. And then likewise, it goes the other way around, so people will find you online after this. So maybe a few of you might find me online and message me, I met you at GameSoundCon. So how much time and effort should you actually put into using social media? Let me go through it with you. So I have 3 different levels of effort you can pick and use, because there's so many ways you can use social media. First off, level 1, on the radar. So this is probably what most of you will be most interested in. I'm assuming you want to get the most out of social media whilst dedicating as little time possible to using it because you hate it. This is for you. So the whole mindset here and the way to approach social media is, first off, be friendly and approachable at all times. That goes for all of them, to be fair, but be friendly and approachable. You need to consistently appear on other people's feeds, on their phones, on their computers. And you don't have to contribute anything actually any good or interesting. Just be there. Just appear as a normal person, like just to get your face out there. In this case, quantity of posts is greatly better than quality. Don't overthink what you have to post at all. Some low-effort ways you can engage just include things like answering questions people ask. You can give random compliments about people's audio work. You can reply to others. You can retweet or quote tweet or repost or whatever it is now. And you can give feedback to people as well when they request it. Here's some examples for you. I made up all of these quotes, but you could say, oh, I loved Alex Jones's music on The Quiet Things. It's great. It's a nice thing to say about someone, isn't it? You can answer a question where someone's asking for headphone recommendations. Just a nice way to get your face up there as a useful person. And you can say, oh, I'm going to GameSoundCon. It'll be good to catch up with you if someone asks. Really easy. All of these things will take you, like, I don't know, 2 seconds to write. It depends how fast you can touch type, I guess, but it's all very easy. Some extra tips for you. The 4-1 rule is kind of used in marketing. It may not be as relevant for us, but as a general guide, for every 5 interactions you have on social media, 4 of them should be on someone else's post, and 1 of them should be your own. So repost or retweet or reply to 4 people before you post your own stuff. Don't post so often that people will mute you. This is like actually making posts yourself, say you're on Twitter. If you tweet like original tweets, like, I don't know, 10 times a day, people will get sick of it and they'll block you or mute you or something. Replies and stuff are fine, as many as you like. Comments are all good, but if you're actually posting stuff, just limit it to like, once a day. Doesn't need to be more than that. Be a person, not a company. So if you're like a solo developer or something, I'm more likely to want to reach out to John Smith at Generic Audio Limited as opposed to just Generic Audio Limited. I don't know who that is, and if I saw John Smith in person, I wouldn't know who they are until I read their name tag. Okay, level 2 is more about bringing people to you. So this is actually writing your own posts and making them good and engaging. So key philosophies and mindsets here are write your own posts, bring people onto you, bring the conversation and focus onto you and your account. Show off your work. It doesn't have to be final or good work. Well, I mean, good helps, but it doesn't have to be final work. Even works in progress, just put it out there, bring people to you. Share photos and videos, and participate in challenges and contests and share your progress with those as well. Again, here's some things you can quickly post about or DM people about. You can post about your projects, post about your redesigns you're working on. You can post work-related selfies and blogs. It's a bit embarrassing to post selfies of yourself, like I get it, but it's really good for engagement, so just get over yourself. Asking questions as well is really good, and polls are a nice way to get lots of people just interacting with you. So again, here's some more quotes for you that I made up. So you could, Sergio says, I'm going to GameSoundCon. Come and say hi, with a little selfie with him next to a plane. Really easy to do. People recognize you and come and find you. You can just say, here's a project I work on. And you can say, I'm working on this redesign. Doesn't need more bass. Just any random stuff. Again, all of these things are pretty quick to write, but admittedly, you have to make work to do the trailers and redesigns and stuff, but just posting about yourself. Extra tips for you for this level. The best time to post is normally weekday mornings. Social media is basically dead on the weekend for game audio, and the mornings mean more people will see it, so I'd try doing that if you want engagement. Photos of people get a lot more engagement. Videos are even better. This is why I was saying to take loads of selfies and post those. 1 second. Remind me, I'll take a selfie of you all later. Make your questions easy to respond to. So this is a big one, actually, and it's amazing how many times you don't see people do this. Let's say you've done a redesign. Instead of saying, do you have any feedback, because you want feedback, if I'm reading this, I'm going to be like, I have to listen to it and start writing a big response, and I have to do a positive thing and a negative thing and another positive thing, and I'll just scroll past it. I don't need to worry about it. But if you say, which gunshot do you prefer, A or B? I'm like, ooh, what do I prefer? I want to have an opinion on this, and everyone else is having an opinion. I want to see if they're right, if I'm wrong. And by the time people actually listen to it and start typing A or B, and they can send it then, and that's pretty good, they might be like, let's justify why. Let's say why I like A or why I like B. You'll get way more responses this way, way better feedback as well, and also feedback that you actually want, because you can ask things that you're not sure about. So yeah, goes for all things. Make your questions easy for people to respond to. Okay, level 3, raising the bar. This is what I do. Well, not raising the bar, but what I'm about to say is dedicating time to develop a new audio initiative that benefits the community. What are you talking about, Lewis? What is that? So I'm talking about any kind of community-focused project that requires constant upkeep. It's a lot of work, I won't lie. For example, you can create some videos on TikTok that are educational about audio. You can start a podcast about audio design for yourself. And you can give away free sound effects every day or something. Anything that kind of requires stuff like effort, but you give it out to the community so they can enjoy it. Why should you do this? Well, first off, it is actually very rewarding to kind of give back to our wonderful community. There's so many lovely people in game audio, and it's not a nice feeling to help them out with stuff. But also, it gives you something to post about. If you follow me on Twitter, I only post about air vehicles. It's just nice to get your name out there, and it's something you can be recognized from. So, if you're going to do this, the number 1 tip is to help others and benefit the community. If you do it for nefarious reasons, you're going to struggle. Make a thing that people can recognize you from. It could be anything. Make sure you can manage the time commitment as well. Start small. You don't think I'm going to write 10 blog posts a day and post my blog, because you'll burn out straight away and you won't get anything from it. And collaborate with others. That's what it's all about, networking. So work with others if you've got a good idea. Extra tips for you. Create something new. Don't create a competitor. Don't create a new Discord server that speaks about sound design, because it already exists. You'll piss off the people that made the first one, and it won't be very useful. You could potentially incorporate any non-audio skills you have. I'm going to skip this for now because I don't have much time. And we'll be keen to help you promote it. So if you have an idea that you want to try out, but maybe you don't know where to start, or you want some help promoting it, just reach out to our email or find me on socials. I love helping people with this stuff, so yeah, find me. don't just take my word for it, by the way. Like, I obviously do a lot of stuff with Verbigals and before that, and I've had some good things come from it, but I've asked my friends who kind of do similar things online. So, like Greg, for instance. So Krista Giametti, who you might know from doing Audio Industry News, which is a video series on Instagram, said that most of my recent work has come from fellow audio engineers who saw my reels and reached out to me to work together on a project. It's that simple. Aidan Hall, who you might know from giving away a free sound effect library every week for 6 months, what a legend. At the time they started doing it, they weren't working in audio, and then they are after 6 months, and they said, I've met tons of connections directly through releasing free sound libraries, and have also been offered the chance to work on a few nice projects too as a result. Greg Lester, who's here somewhere, there he is, made the website Game Audio Learning, which is like a free educational audio website. He said that Game Audio Learning has led to many opportunities, from writing a book to teaching in higher education at university level. 2 things I knew he wanted to do, so great, that helped him do that. And then Vanessa Flores, or Vanny Audio, who does like audio production tips on Instagram, summarizes the whole thing beautifully. She says, first off, it helps me land my full-time job and get job offers from Sony and Warner Brothers. Just today, or when I asked her, I got offered work from an old follower of my Instagram that's halfway across the world. And she sums up the whole thing by saying, there's no better strategy than crafting your social presence in a way that reaches the feeds of your potential employer, which is what this is all about. So if you weren't listening to any of that, here's a quick summary. So it's easy. Social media is easy. It can be quite quick and low effort as well. It's especially useful now coronavirus has happened and more places are working remotely. If you can't decide on a platform or you don't know what to focus on LinkedIn and Navigables for now, and then like one of X or Blue Sky, like probably Blue Sky, but it might just like fall off a cliff soon. I don't know, unfortunately. If you want a target for yourself, this is what I did. Just on each social media platform you have or you're trying to maintain, just post or interact with someone once a day, every day. It takes you literally a minute per social media platform. If you do that, you'll get a lot better at it a lot quicker. And the main goal is to be consistent, friendly, and recognizable. The most important thing that anyone here can do is to follow me on social media. And that's everything. Thank you.